Cup champion Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, welcome back everybody to Big D Energy.
Big D! I was getting my cookies.
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl, that guy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. And for those of you that, a lot of you know, some of you don't, we do a little preview video, like a show preview video that we put out on the socials a couple minutes before we go on air. And it was time to do it. D-Mac wasn't around in the studio here. And so, management came in here and they're like, hey, Neal, can you lay this down? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll do it. And so they turn the camera on. I start doing it. And I'm like, I don't even know where D-Mac is. I'm sure he's getting a bottle of Coke or a vanilla glazed muffin or something like that. And he walks right in on brand with the bottle of Coke. Glass bottle of Coke, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Mexican Coke. Big fan. Me, the sugar, right? No sugar.
A lot of sugar.
I mean, it's life's about dichotomies, and we live it here at Big D Energy every day. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread. Get involved there. We will take your thoughts as the show rolls on. Got a lot of stuff to get to. Obviously, today there is more Lion stuff. It will never go away. Spenny had a good one. The Matt Stafford trade is officially in the books. Mm-hmm. We'll discuss and break it down for everybody.
Break it down.
Knowing what you know now. And I saw, because I saw some discussion about this on social media. And that just goes to show you, too, the NFL draft, about how it just permeates and takes over our lives. Here we are. Well, this is Wednesday now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we are on Wednesday. We still haven't gotten to everything.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we still haven't gotten to everything. It's wild. Easy's on air talking ish about me and stuff like that, just spewing his ridiculousness. We'll discuss that as well.
We all got that friend.
We all do.
That's Spenny's friend. We
Yep.
all got that friend.
Absolutely.
That's Spenny's friend. That's Spenny in the street.
I was telling Spenny,
Spenny in the streets.
Yeah, I was telling Spenny earlier. Now that the dust has settled, nobody got arrested, nobody got killed, nobody got paralyzed, injured, maimed, anything like that. Now that everything is settled, I'm low-key jealous that he's got a brawl on Main Street in Royal Oak on the resume.
Down on Main Street.
I'm a bit jealous of that, Spenny.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was stupid. So
again,
now
like
it's
I
just a war
said,
story.
we all got a friend like Easy, running his mouth like Easy.
Yeah. We will get to that. Woodwardsports.com chat thread. Tammy Chin, by the way.
Oh, hi,
Panthers are doing a great job. I'm just not going to cheer for them ever. Not a Kachuk fan.
I got him winning.
Yeah.
It's the Bob effect, right? What do I always say in playoff hockey, right? It's goaltending, puck luck, and injuries.
Well,
and staying
in the regular
staying healthy.
season, he's Bobrovsky.
Right.
But in the playoffs, he becomes Bob.
Yes. No. And I think we got to remember, this is the same guy that when he was with Columbus, after Tampa set the league record at tied us at 62 wins President's Trophy and got swept back in 2016. Don't lock me in on that. And then what did he do? He came in, bailed out, down 3-1 Florida against the 65 win Boston Bruins and did the same thing. So I just watch him in net, and it's a throwback. It reminds me of Dominic Hasek in sort of 2002. Not to compare, but a guy that believes that he can back them up. And last night, you see this playoff hockey's unbelievable. You look at even Dallas. Like, how can you not? With what Seattle's doing, but Dallas, Joe Pavelski, who was injured first round, comes back, scores 4 goals, and yet they lose in overtime. So goaltending seems to be the thing. The other one over to New Jersey, Akira Schmidt, the young guy. You're always going to find that young guy that bailed New Jersey out down in that series too. So it's goaltending's a huge part. And then you look at, you watch the overtime goal that Seattle scores last night. Yanni Gourde, part of the Tampa Bay success, just turns around, fires it on net, goes in. So I think the playoffs right now, Neal, like you said, we're still focused even on the NFL draft, as we should be, because there's questions we ask and it's football centric. But if you're paying attention to the NHL playoffs or even the NBA playoffs and stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on there. But I can't as exciting, like locked in.
Like, the playoffs picked up steam real quick as soon as the draft was over, did it not? Like it did to me.
Right. But in perspective, anybody who knows me, I would prefer to watch wrestling. I can't draw myself away from these hockey games to even turn that channel because they're so exciting. That means
Canes
anything.
in 5.
But Tammy, to your point, I will be cheering for Florida.
So will I, because I'm a Kachuk slappy.
I like Kachuk a lot.
He's him.
And I hate Toronto.
I'm a Barkov, and then Aaron Ekblad's from Windsor.
Yeah.
I like Ekblad too. He looks a lot like my
dude.
friend Mike.
I wish the Wings would have been further along on the time frame where because Kachuk.
You got to remember too, and don't forget this, and whatever, if it's in the ether or whatever, but the President's Trophy winning Florida Panthers from last year, right? So they know how to win hockey games, and then they added Kachuk this year and added a few more pieces and stuff like this. So it's usually a lot, if you look back in history, what happens after devastation by getting beat out by winning the President's Trophy, a la what Boston has done. Well, the last time I remember Tampa Bay, when they did that, they won the Cup the next year. So, I mean, teams bounce back, so there might be that something ether in the air that President's Trophy winning last year, they learned something and getting bounced out early by Tampa.
Kachuk, by the way, on an 8-year, $76 million contract, $9.5 million per year. That's
pretty reasonable.
Where he's at. Pretty reasonable. Exactly.
Absolutely. That's a deal. I mean, do you think they're happy about it? Like, absolutely right now? I mean, he's just meat and potatoes, and he's going to do what he's going to do. And if that Florida team can figure out how to stay out of the penalty box, because they can't keep going in there because Toronto is that good.
But that's the nature. And I saw this in the series against Boston. It's Boston. Now it's Toronto. They're going to go to the penalty box.
No, I understand that.
Like
but
it's not because of them. It's because of that's the way it's just going to work out that way. So if they can
figure out like game one how to either they're going to go there, but they were able to prevent. They looked better killing penalties. They didn't look slower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about that.
I'm going to watch the Canes tonight, though.
Canes they're low key your team.
Yeah,
right?
It's my B team for sure.
Yeah, Panthers and obviously the Oilers and Panthers have always been my two B teams. So, real quick, last little hockey thing. I'm sorry, I know we're losing people by the second. I understand that, but just ride with me. We're gonna do tons of football. Everybody, calm down. We're gonna get into it, okay? The Stafford trade. We're gonna get into that too. We're gonna break. It did become official. Real quick, D-Mac, I want to run this one by you because I got a couple of DMs on social media. Now, anything ever pops in your mind, go ahead and fire me off a message. If I'm sitting there, I'll respond to it, like right away in live time.
Darren McCarty 4.
There you go. I got a couple about Bertuzzi. Should the Red Wings circle back and go back after him? And D-Mac, explain to the people, because here was my line about it, because my buddies asked me about this too. I said, life hits different when you got a bona fide, certified, top echelon 1C out there. Everything is different.
So you're saying that you get to turn on the Jets because of playing with who you're playing with. So it obviously
like you, D-Mac, like doing a talk show, right?
Right.
If you have to do it with Easy or you have to do it with me, which show's going to be better?
Absolutely. Who's your centerman? You say
that's it. That's all.
Who's your centerman? What's expected?
Right.
Stuff like that. So. It's not out of the question. It all, again, hashtag why is he playing 1919.
But I'm saying, though, like this, you are not, as it sits right now, you are not capable of getting that Bertuzzi here with the Red Wings team.
But if you land, if everybody did sleep number one of what I said yesterday, and if you were not up to it, remember, before you lay your head on the pillow, pray to the poker gods, pray to them too. Pray to the hockey gods to get that number one bingo ball next Monday, because if that happens, right, a Connor Bedard, a Tyler Bertuzzi, you might even get more.
Yeah.
Right? But to your point, playing with better players brings out better things. That's what made us so good. Why do you think the grind line was so good? Because we practice every day with the Eisermans and the Shanahans and the Russian Five and stuff like this. Made us better in practice. And then when we needed to in the game, we could turn it up, and our beauty was also too. Scotty, the mad scientist, we played with each other at some point because he'd get mad and just throw the bingo balls that we would say out, and everybody would play. So that's on that. So we will see, depending, but it'd have to be who else did you acquire with him? So
because like Mike G says, Bertuzzi, 10 points in 7 games. He was Boston star. Kid was their best player. He was good. He was not their best player. The people that allowed him to be that were the best player on Boston. Again, I will back this up and DMAC a simple agree or disagree. The Todd Bertuzzi at Boston, the Tyler Bertuzzi at Boston, you are not capable of getting here with this Red Wings team as the roster is currently constructed.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
But he's an accessory, and I'm trying to think of. It's like the soldier, right? That has the weapon. Right, and he's got a missile or a rocket launcher on it. The rocket launcher doesn't work unless it's attached to the gun, right? So he's Tyler Bertuzzi is the attachment to the gun. So what kind of gun could you bring? And that's special too, right? And it's sort of the accessory, and a lot of that ways is you will get the most out of him. So it goes to show you that he's got a lot of range as a player, but as other guys needs help.
Jack Harrington, Islanders do not have a first-round draft pick. No, they don't, Jack, do they? You know what they do have? An arena that's in the parking lot of a horse racing track. That's what they do have. They do still have that. Lou Amarillo is Mr. Win Now. Yeah? Worked out well, didn't it? Hey, please have him call Stevie Y again, please. One more time. Please have him do it one more time, please. Flannel. Data Davis. We had a Data Davis sighting last night.
How about you shut your mouth with the Data Davis and call him by his name? Anthony dropping a 30 and 20 piece last night, being the best player on the floor. That happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's what the matchup dictated. Props to the Lakers, man.
Absolutely.
They went in there with a plan. They executed the plan. And Spenmo, you're a big NBA guy. Guys, don't worry. We're not going to talk NBA. We're going to do it for like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And we might later. I don't know. 2 minutes, so Spenmo. What do the Warriors do? What can they do?
They can't do anything. They don't have a big guy out there. Like Kevon Looney had 20-something rebounds too, but it's like you're not him. You're not him. You're not going at. They don't have that guy on this team to go up against Anthony Davis to bang with him. It's if you told me Klay, Steph, and Jordan Poole all hit 6 threes, and the Warriors lost, I would have told you you're lying.
Yeah. Detroit supremacy. Hey, Sam, talk about the difference in free throws. And I love our audience because they learn, D-Mac. They learn. This supremacy, this is different.
Hold on. Was it 19-0?
At one point it was. However.
How did I know that?
But however, though, that's what's going to happen when 50% of your shots are threes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no path for them to get to the free throw line.
Feels good.
I don't know. I think the Warriors are cooked. I think the Suns and the Warriors are cooked.
Suns are cooked for sure.
Yeah.
I have no faith in the Suns.
I don't know if the Warriors are necessarily cooked, but all of the things that you mentioned, the Lakers have size, the Warriors don't. But if they shoot their threes at a phenomenal clip.
But they shot it well last night.
They did.
They emptied their gun. They threw the best at. It sounds to me, not a basketball guy listening goes, wait, they unloaded and all 3 guys hitting threes.
D-Mac, and I'll take it a step further.
They don't have the inside guy like the JaVale McGee or they don't have a big man inside that picks up the slot.
No Festus Ezeli, no Andrew Bogut.
All the guys we laughed at that they had before.
No, but
they need them back.
I think that shows you the why it doesn't work because the free throw, because the ones that they missed or whatever, but the garbage inside. So unless they're hitting them, that's all their points are coming from. Mm-hmm. So, kudos to the Lakers to be able to, what did you say, Neal? You mentioned something about old school basketball.
Yeah, and it was throwback basketball.
Did you enjoy it?
Work the ball in the no, I don't like it.
Okay.
It's not fun. Watching the Warriors is fun to me. Like when they get it cooking and they're throwing shots in and everything like that, and the pace is picked up, it's fun. I don't like it when they slow it down and they get now. Data Davis, and I've always said it, dude. Like we laugh about it, mainly because of the jorts he wears when he is in street clothes. Data Davis, when he plays, is great.
Oh,
he's great when he plays.
He is great. And let me just say this for all of you guys who want to talk smack about Anthony Davis and just regurgitate false narratives. Anthony Davis has missed 1 playoff game in his career. Joel Embiid has missed 8. Kawhi Leonard missed an entire playoff run in 18-3 this year. 3 in 2017, I believe 8 in 2017. Guys like Steph Curry has missed 12 in his career, and the Warriors are 9-3 in those games. So I'm just saying, I know these silly little things like facts kind of get in the way of your false narratives, but I'm just saying, just putting that out there.
He's only missed 1 playoff game?
He's only missed 1 playoff game. I know you hear all the time about, he's made of glass, he never plays. But in the playoffs, he always shows up, like especially in 2020.
The game he missed, did he wear jorts
I
to
don't
the
know.
game?
It was in that 2021 Phoenix
I told
series,
you guys, I
terrible.
was flipping around, and I went, I knew something was different because I saw Anthony Davis
in
his
regular
basketball
shorts
yesterday.
instead of jorts.
Even the ultimate Iron Man, Giannis, he missed 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals against Atlanta in 2021, and he missed 2 games in this year's first round. Yep. I'm just saying, like, everyone acts like Anthony Davis is always injured, but it comes for everybody. I mean, Kyrie missed 5 in 2015, and Kevin Durant missed 5 in 2019. I'm just saying, it comes for everybody, but it hasn't quite come
I'm just saying, Sam Flannel, he'll get his next round. Jokic, Data Davis, I will be locked in for that one. Locked in.
It wouldn't shock me at all if Anthony Davis outplays Nikola Jokic.
That would shock me.
He did it in 2020. That actually happened. There's evidence of it.
That would shock me, though. Mm-hmm. That was before Jokic was a 2-time MVP.
And should have been 3-time.
Come on.
We'll discuss it later. Tell them about Swiss Insurance first, Sam. We're going to talk Lions, though. Don't worry.
Like our draft picks, did the GM do his job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today, mark@swissins.com. That's mark@swissins.com. Or just go to swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. Make sure you subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel and our podcast, too. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. Get the Big D Energy podcast by Woodward Sports. Please leave it a review, too.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. 5 stars. Get the algorithm cooking. Get us out there in the stratosphere. We certainly would appreciate if you could do that as well. John Lord says you guys need to make a bozo energy drink for Woodward. Give it to Easy. Maybe he could push it out there. We'll see what we can do on that. All right, as we were talking about, the dust has settled on the NFL draft. All right, you know what? Real quick, Michael Daniel. Always talking about getting a left-handed first baseman. I'll give it to you. I'll read it. We need a left-handed first baseman. Michael Daniel, that doesn't even scratch the surface as to what's going on. We are going to talk Tigers in the second hour. Max Scherzer's scheduled to pitch tonight. If the sun would ever come out here, he's scheduled to pitch.
It'll come out. They'll play tonight. It's going to be windy, though.
But speaking of that, Spenny, Scherzer and Verlander had some words about the state of Detroit.
Talking a little choppy.
Yeah. But were they right? We'll discuss. That's coming up.
Right.
That's how bad it's gotten. Because you know us, right? Like,
yeah,
we draw our swords, man. You leave and you take some shots at Detroit. We draw our swords and stuff like that. Even we were like, well, it's raining again. So yeah, we will get to that. But so breaking it down. I talked in some absolutes, right? I asked a hybrid of this question earlier. Are we closer to the Eagles? Because again, if we fancy ourselves as contenders to win the NFC Championship, dare I say, go to a Super Bowl, are we closer or further away from the Eagles today than we were last Wednesday night? Spenny asked it a different way, though. How much did the Lions improve their chances and you said, Spenny, of winning the NFC?
Winning the
NFC.
So
going
to the Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl. How much did they improve their chances, D-Mac? Did they improve their chances? Were those moves for this year? Does it help them win now, et cetera, et cetera?
I don't know, and obviously now, but to me, it's about crossing the threshold of making sure you make the playoffs and looking at what's ahead of you, and that North Division's ahead of you. Winning the North Division gives you a home playoff game. That's what I look at. If I got to expand that, did they get better? Yes. I got to believe that they got better with the guys that they're going to play in because they got their guys.
But did they get NFC Championship better?
I think that, well, no, because the divide of the top, which is Philadelphia, you gotta answer that question too, because you gotta say the pieces that they had made them better to where they're at. So, no, I didn't think it's going to matter. I think that you got to win the battle before you win the war, and I think the battle at hand is winning the NFC North. So,
but right away, D-Mac, I get this message in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Burn says, say it with your chest. Power ranked 7th in the NFL, 3rd in the NFC. By definition, we are considered contenders for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Burn. So that's my question. Are you closer now? Being
you're closer
NFC
than
champion.
You were on the whole scale of your journey, yes. But are you closer to what Philadelphia did at the top? Like you're saying, I'm more concerned with the North. Like I'm not even like overlooking this battle over here first. And I think you absolutely did to win the North this year with what you did. So I guess, yes, to answer your question, yes, you got yourself closer with this draft.
Corey Berry says they improved their chances of winning the North. Nothing in this draft was going to put us in the Super Bowl. And I guess that's my question.
That's, I guess, is a roundabout way what I just said. Yeah. Thank you, Corey Berry.
But sometimes we just need people to verbalize it for us.
Articulate me.
Yeah. And I think I would agree with that. Spenmo, you on board with Corey's assessment right there?
What was it?
He said they improved their chances of winning the North. However, nothing in this draft is going to put us in the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I think they added a lot of weapons, like with Gibbs and Laporta. Those are two guys that will make a lot of people miss and do a lot of different things. They're kind of building towards that San Francisco offense to where it's yak guys, to where you get the ball in their hands on a short route and let them do the rest. And now you have a couple of those guys littered throughout the lineup. So would I like to see them get a defensive cornerstone and a defensive piece that you can be like, this guy is going to be there for a long time? Yeah, and maybe that's what Jack Campbell is. But the impact of a middle linebacker compared to
off-ball middle linebacker.
Off-ball middle linebacker. It's different, but I think they improved their chances greatly with the pieces they've added.
I'll bite. Can I bite?
Yes.
I'll bite.
Go ahead.
I'll bite. Ready? Yeah. Well, the answer's unclear, and I think Corey Berry, he's right on the point. Because if they would have took Jake Moody and the 3rd pick, then they'd be ready now. Then they'd be ready now. So with the kicker who's active, then they would have been. To your point, right?
We'll get into that.
They'd be closer.
We will get into that. Flannel, what's your
the fish you wanted?
Yeah, I did actually. Flannel, what's your take on it, man? I gotta go around the room.
To me, it's a little bit more simple. I think that they got the best linebacker on the guy who's gonna be the best linebacker on their team in Jack Campbell, and the guy who's gonna be their best tight end on the team in Sam Laporta. Those were positions that were, I would say, lesser talented weak points of the Detroit Lions. How valuable they are to the team, time will tell. But you got the best at their respective positions on this team day one. You got Brian Branch, who's basically a plug-and-play defensive back. You can either put him at safety or slot corner. He had 90 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a whopping 14 tackles for loss in his last season at Alabama. He's a very, very smart football player. He's very technically sound. The only knock on him is his athleticism. And you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who I think will be the Lions' best receiving running back since Theo Riddick, but he'll be a much better runner. He's much more electric and elusive in space. So by that definition, they are going to be a better team, and it's going to help them win the NFC North, which by definition will get you a home playoff game and get you closer to an NFC Championship or a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and see, like, because I agree with the points about the North, that, yeah, I think that they address some deficiencies they have. Not all of them, but they address some of the deficiencies they have. However, that talk about getting closer to the NFC Championship, I do not agree, because the Philadelphia Eagles got better also.
That's what your difference to the Army ahead of you.
And not only did they get better, the potential ceiling of how they got better is very, very high. I'll just say it like that.
And that's what great teams do when they're already there and have certain positions set, money set, right? They polish off. They add these accessories. And what they did, they made themselves as strong. When the top team arguably wins the draft, right? Would you say Philadelphia arguably had one of the top 2 or 3 drafts?
Yes.
Right? So that's to your point, you know. But again, I don't want to get ahead. Maybe and it's not being scared. It's just being focused on task at hand. And I think that's what the reality is, and that's what the North is.
Yeah, and the reason also I say that is because, like, with the Eagles, and I just talked about the ceiling, like the potential ceiling that they have. Look, I think everybody can say the Lions got better, right? As we sit here right now, we can say the Lions got better. The ceiling that the Eagles draft has could not only meet / exceed / be much greater than the Lions' improvement. If we're talking like linear math equations and stuff like that, I don't go too deep in all that kind of stuff. But from a ceiling perspective, it could be stratospheric.
So
what
that's
the Eagles
why
did.
we got to get to the North and conquer the North and get to that playoff home game and win that game and then build. They're ahead on the journey. We talk about the journeys, right? We use the analogy of 75. Where are our teams at? Philly's just that way, and you know what? They found super speed, right? They have the ability to find super speed, or they found a new compound. And the way that they were able to engage, but we don't know, right? But we suspect because they don't really mess up. And the fact that you're sure where direction Philly's going, right? You know who their quarterback is, you know who their coach is, you know what they're doing, right? Bringing guys back. I think the telling tale, like looking back at it, was Jason Kelce, their center, right? Sort of we understand as a leader up front, the center, right? Coming back for another year. That was, sort of been the writing on the wall of what, looking at it, we're in this position now.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Ryan says the Eagles have no secondary. Is James Bradbury all right?
Yes.
He's okay. Is Darius Slay pretty good?
Yep.
Hey, speaking of that, they bounced back pretty good for messing up. We were beneficiaries of C.J. Gardner-Johnson because of the money in their secondary, which they're talking about.
Couldn't keep everybody.
But what does good teams and good GMs do? That didn't, that was a misstep. And then what did he do? He made a great step after in what he could do in the draft, right?
No,
so
no
there are
question.
questions in their secondary, but they still have great players. Slay's still back there.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're ready to roll, and it's Super Bowl or bust for them, and they drafted accordingly.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, just put yourself in if you're a Philly fan, or if you're in Philly, if we're sitting here doing this in Philly right now, how stoked, not scared are you? There's no scared in it. It's
like
just
their
stoked
t-shirt,
and bricked all year long.
Their T-shirt just says "Stoked." I don't give a F. You know, like that's what their T-shirt says.
And the beauty is they've been there before, so they know what the ride's like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ruhl here for Planet Fitness. That's right. You can find your big fitness energy. You're watching Big D Energy. Find your big fitness energy at Planet Fitness. Join right now. $1 down, just $10 a month. The offer is ending soon. It's wrapping up pretty quick here as we look at the date. You got about 5 days left for that deal to apply to you. They just opened a new location in Saline as well. So that is out there. There's over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area. There's one everywhere you go, everybody. There's Planet Fitnesses everywhere. Over 2,400 worldwide as well. Go to planetfitness.com or pull into one on the parking lot. You'll pass a couple on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rackstein here with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Check out the website, woodwardsports.com, and subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Just kind of wrapping up this discussion. Did the Lions improve their chances of winning the NFC next season? And I can't answer that because I feel as though the Philadelphia Eagles got a lot better as well. And F. Jakes in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, what if Hurts gets hurt? The team is so good, but can they still make the Super Bowl? Well, yeah, according to everybody's logic around here, they got Marcus Mariota as the backup quarterback. So they'll be all set. And Ian Book backing him up. They can take 2 injuries, and they'll be just fine. I'm sure Mariota will go 5-0 as a backup, right? That's what people think Hendon Hooker will do next year, if need be. Right? Right?
That seems like a Sam question.
I mean, Marcus Mariota, to be fair, is quite a few steps above Ian Book. I think Ian Book, you're screwed. I think Marcus Mariota, you could kind of tread water with the Eagles if Jalen Hurts only has to miss some games. But with him as a full season, no, you're not making the Super Bowl. Hell no.
Here's the thing. Howie Rosen probably has a contingency plan or whatever else in place. I mean, it's not going to benefit them, but good teams will adjust to that. Or maybe you'll see the situation, what happened we saw last year with San Francisco. Maybe Philly falls into what happened with San Francisco and they have a running back playing quarterback.
They could win games with Marcus Mariota.
100%.
Is that the weakness to Philadelphia?
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody's starting
it's their
quarterback
backup
goes
quarterback. I mean, how do you get to Philadelphia if they're so good everywhere else and they've improved everywhere else and stuff? It's if their quarterback goes down, then you got a chance.
Well, you do against any team in the NFL.
Well, there you go.
Because there's only, I mean, when you break it down, there's only 20 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, for real.
Right.
Like when you get granular about it. There's only 20 of them. It's like coaches. We see this a lot in hockey in particular, in the NHL. Why do you always see the same coaches getting hired?
Because there's only so many.
Because there's only 18 of them that can do it.
I always wonder about, because you know what it is, Neal, I guess it proves because, and maybe it'll start changing as we see as guys that crack the lineup at a younger age. We see more like 18, 19, 20-year-olds in the NHL now. Maybe coaches will fast track, but they got to percolate in the system. And, you know, hey, there's a new guy. It's his first year head coach, but he's coached 20 years already in the minors and everything else. Maybe they'll be able to fast track. I always wonder. You know, it's sort of like we always hear the trees in the NFL, right? Oh, he's part of the Parcells tree. Yeah. He's part of this tree. You need more of that in hockey because you're right, absolutely to your point, because there's only so many of them. That's why. How many times do you see at the beginning of a game when they announce that and the coach behind the bench and you're like, wait. He's there now? I thought he was here. Peter Laviolette, you know?
It's the same 12 coaches in the NHL that just go around in a circle.
25-year head coach,
John
now
Tortorella.
coach of Florida, was in Winnipeg, was all this, Carolina, you know.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Absolutely.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. LV4 says, in Neal land, if your quarterback misses a few games, you just quit. Well, in LV4 land, you can just put Hendon Hooker out there, and you'll be 7-0 the rest of the way in.
There's an in-between.
Yeah.
It worked for the Niners.
Till it didn't.
Till he got hurt.
Right.
But it wasn't just him. It was Trey Lance and before the season, Jimmy G, and then Brock Purdy. Yeah. And then Josh Johnson when he came in.
Johnson.
That was just
Isn't
avalanche.
it as simple as Howie Rosen in Philadelphia says Marcus Mariota is the best guy for the job if he goes down, as Brad Holmes has told you, that this Hendon Hooker, we believe, is if anything happens, is the best guy for the job for us moving forward. So I got to, again, it just goes back to we gonna see.
Yeah, no, we
and
are
hopefully
gonna see.
we don't see, right? The best case scenario for us here is that we don't know.
1,000%.
And Hendon Hooker is a backup, because then Jared Goff is leading us to the Super Bowl and to the promised land.
The best case scenario for the Lions this year is that that Hendon Hooker doesn't play a snap.
That is true.
That is the best case scenario.
Yep, 100% true. And LV4 said echoed your sentiments of work for the Niners. Well, maybe if they had a QB1, maybe if they had a QB1, they wouldn't have been in that spot.
Well, maybe if he got hurt, then you never know. Brock Purdy was their QB1. He's playing great.
Right, until he got hurt.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But he wouldn't have played if Trey Lance didn't get hurt. And, that's the same quarterbacks that tend to play all the time, like the star quarterbacks, they tend to not get hurt, right? More or less.
I mean, yeah, you can't really bank on that, though. People get hurt. It happens.
100%.
Tom Brady missed the season. Matt Castle came in. They went like 11-5.
But missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you're trying to make the point, Neal, that the guys that figure out how to take snaps in the NFL and play games have figured out how to avoid. I bet you there's
is that an art in pro sports?
Yeah, let's ask Nick Lidstrom.
There's also some luck to it. I
feel 100%. No, absolutely, there is, right? And I'm sure it's how guys are made. But if I'm going to throw this out there, but if we had the foot cam of the quarterbacks in the pocket and stuff like that, the way that they got to tap dance around because every play, everybody could have a career-ending injury.
Mm-hmm. No question.
We see it, so I think it is an art form, and I think a part of it is being lucky. How many times we see a guy fall down, but he falls properly instead of improperly? That doesn't, cause a tear in the knee.
Your nutrition as you got to be a veteran was better than your nutrition when you were younger, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. In season.
Right, exactly. Now, absolutely. Now it's, now it's all different, but there's something that plays to it. But I'm just saying, like, when you've seen a situation before, or been in a situation before, you know how to avoid it, right? Like before, just think about if you're driving, right? And you've been in certain situations, or it makes you stop or look, or maybe you look extra like that. That's where it is. So I think there is something to it, to being able to play games.
And look, I know that there's a divide with me in like the Hendon Hooker camp, which we'll get into a little bit later on. And I think it's a little bit misunderstood, but we'll explain that later on. But I'm going to break some news here that's going to unite us all.
All right.
Jackson Mahomes, the brother of Chiefs MVP Patrick Mahomes, has been arrested.
For what?
On suspicion of aggravated sexual battery. There's video of him acting the fool in a bar, kissing the 40-year-old owner of the restaurant, which they do have on video. And
this has been out for
you saw the video, but he officially this morning got arrested. And look, I don't care where we are as a nation, politically, where we stand on relations across the board, battles on sexual orientation, all of it. Nothing in the world can unite all of human and all of mankind more than Jackson Mahomes being arrested, which, as long as he's arrested, we don't have to see any more TikToks, at least for today. We don't have to see any film of him talking into the camera or anything like that. So you know what? Today, America wins. Jackson Mahomes arrested. Well, see you later, Jackson.
Hey, no, Steve Surratt with the win, because immediately I thought he said not surprised. And then he says, lock him up and take away his phone.
Please.
I don't think there's a single person on the planet that likes Jackson Mahomes.
Does that, maybe he's going to set a precedence for cellular or social media probation.
Yeah.
Maybe now we'll see people like you can't, maybe that's what the judge should encourage.
That's what they should do. The judge in this case should say, you know what? You're free to go. Except for your cell phone. You are not allowed to have a cell phone.
Or post, or your accounts are frozen.
Your social media has been suspended indefinitely for a period no shorter than 36 months.
Now we got to find some dirt on Brittany Mahomes.
Give us time.
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
She's just scary looking. She looks like a scarecrow.
This is the fuel we needed.
I feel so bad for... You think that's like... That's when Patrick Mahomes sold his soul? Like, you'll be the best quarterback of all time,
no,
but
that's
you got to put
worse
up with these
than
two.
having Easy as a friend.
Yes.
Having him as a brother. I will say that. I'll give Easy that much credit. I can't even make a joke about that.
That's fair. I think that was the trade-off, though, like with the football gods or when he sold his soul to the devil. Like, you'll be the best quarterback ever, ridiculous arm talent, have a stupendous career, Hall of Fame career in your first 4 seasons as a starter, but you got to put up with these two.
Yes.
He's like, all right.
And you know what? I probably would have taken it too.
Yeah, me too. $450 million.
Did you say probably?
Probably. Yeah, I can't definitely say that.
Oh, really?
Look at this guy. Look at Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, but it's the same.
Imagine if that was one of your family members, Demon. There's no amount of money in the world.
Yeah, but it seems that it hasn't Mahomes, but he deals with it with people even closer to him.
But we all know that's his brother. Deep down, no matter how many Super Bowl trophies he wins, no matter how many MVPs he wins, that is still his brother, D-Mac.
Okay, but I don't hold it against him. And I think that you see him sort of like you'd wish he would.
D-Mac.
Not
you know
allow
what?
it.
You know
I
what?
don't hold it against Mahomes.
I do.
Okay.
I do, because in today's day and age,
my
you see
answer
this.
is I'm taking. Hi, my name's Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking the talent.
Here's the deal, D-Mac.
I'm taking it hands down.
But see, Spenny, here's what you do. And we're in a day and age now. Like, you see kids that divorce their parents.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes should just divorce his brother.
Aaron Rodgers divorced his family.
Yeah, but I was going to say, we see the ostracization.
There you go.
So I think more so ostracization. Do you see, is Patrick, does he back up his brother when he does this goofy stuff, or does he just stay quiet?
Patrick Mahomes, Jackson Mahomes is like 6'9". Like, he's tall as hell.
No, but I mean, in social media, you don't see him backing him up.
Oh, no.
No, he's washed his hands.
Yeah,
I think he's done that
thing.
with all the other goofy stuff that comes out around Patrick Mahomes. Can we not agree? Wait, can we go to our Patrick Mahomes slap here?
That's true.
Sam Flannel is right. There's a lot of distractions. It's amazing Patrick Mahomes is such a great character.
Hold on, Flannel. Let me ask it this way.
Person. Oh.
You're a simp for Patrick Mahomes, and that's fine. Defend his brother.
I can't. I'm not trying to defend his brother. All I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes deals with it while winning Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVPs.
It doesn't matter,
and regular
though.
season MVPs.
It's still his brother.
No, it doesn't. Hey, you know what? God, you are your own person. Maybe some of us think, blood's, a chosen family. Can't choose your blood. You can choose your family. Maybe he's ostracized. Some of us, it's easier than others to say, are you in or are you in the way? So I think the way Patrick Mahomes with everything else around him, not only that, the distractions carries
he's able to overcome it. Yeah, I mean that's
more honorable.
That is true. He overcomes that, and
still why
is great.
Is he his brother's keeper? We aren't. It's like his
he
brother's
just do
a
it.
jackalope. Patrick Mahomes is awesome.
He should just do the paperwork necessary to say, hey,
great
I addressed the
question.
situation.
I wouldn't have said who'd you rather hang out with, Spenny. I would have said who's a bigger fraud.
Real quick,
Jackson
on the
Mahomes
on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Spenny asked a question: who would you rather hang out with, Jackson Mahomes or Grandpa Joe? I got to think about that while D-Mac tells you about Alta.
Absolutely, because that Alta uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project coming up. Alta Rent, they got you covered. Give them a call today, 844. Go to Alta. That's 844. Go to Alta.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit customhealthcenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Our orbit has been shaken to the core here on Big D Energy. Number one, we reported the news of Jackson. I believe we were the first to have it. No, we weren't. Oh, okay. Jackson Mahomes has been arrested this morning. Spenmo came up with the question. You got to choose one. And when we were out at Dispo in Romeo, shout out to everybody at Dispo, too. They know how to host people out there.
Yeah.
We'll just say it like
Took
that.
care of us.
They did.
Now I got rear-ended.
We got in on Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory about how he's one of the worst people ever in the history of mankind.
He's the antagonist of that movie.
He is. He absolutely is. Jackson Mahomes, I think, is one of the more universally hated figures in our society today.
I've never met somebody that likes him.
Not one.
Yeah.
Not one. So Spenny asked the question. Who would you rather hang out with? You have to choose one. Jackson Mahomes or Grandpa Joe? Now, D-Mac, whenever he poses these questions, I always have an answer on the spot. That's just the way I operate in. I'll let my gut dictate, how I'm going to feel. I legit thought about this from the minute he put it out there. You did the Alta commercial. We ran the commercial break. We came back. I'm right where I started. I do not know how to answer this question. I don't. What did you vote?
I did.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Grandpa Joe.
You would hang out with Grandpa Joe. Why?
Just because to what Spenny had said between the break is that he'd be easier to get away from, and I want to try some of the stuff in the chocolate factory that he'd get his hands on. So he's like pretty nifty. Like I know that his shade was coming, but again, I think that I'm faster than Grandpa Joe if I wanted to get away. And plus, he's going to fake an injury to get a free ride.
Yeah, Flannel. And this is important. We are going to break down the Matt Stafford trade, but I feel as though this is more important for a few minutes here.
I would rather hang out with Jackson Mahomes because I know we talked about it at Dispo, but Grandpa Joe is legitimately one of the single worst movie characters that has ever existed. I mean, he basically faked being bedridden for 20 years. The second that Charlie was like, oh, I got tickets to the chocolate factory, he just gets right up and starts jumping around, grittying.
He looked like Michael Jackson in Thriller all of a sudden.
Here's the thing.
Crip walks to the chocolate factory.
Charlie and the mom, they were busting and slaving away all day so they could have their cabbage soup dinners and so that they could get freaking Grandpa Joe his tobacco and everything. Yeah. And then when they get to the freaking factory, it was Grandpa Joe was the one who convinced Charlie to drink the fizzy lifting stuff. Charlie wasn't about to do that, but Grandpa Joe decided it. Honestly,
he was an enabler.
Everybody likes great fizz.
Yes.
Yeah.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I wish that movie would have ended just to punish Grandpa Joe with Willy Wonka going like, "You get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir," because Grandpa Joe deserved it.
Because of Grandpa Joe, and then he slams the door in the credits roll. Spenmo, who'd you vote for?
I voted for Grandpa Joe because I think I can escape him. Like D-Mac said, I can, I'll just push him over and run away. Jackson Mahomes is an athlete. He might be a dingus, but he's still 6'9".
You said he's big, right?
Yeah. All right. I just clicked my vote, and here's what it is. I would rather hang out with Jackson Mahomes. And here's why. Here's why. Hear me out. In the pantheon of bad people, right, Grandpa Joe is worse than Jackson Mahomes. And here's why. He's a deceiver. He's a liar. He's an overall bad person. Jackson Mahomes is he's in his own world. In his world, Jackson Mahomes thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he is.
Yeah.
The rest of us know that we don't want this in any way, shape, or form. We know that. But in his mind, he thinks we do because he has all of these followers and everything like that. Grandpa Joe is a conniving manipulator that from minute one in the history of his life, It's all been a big chessboard for him to just lay in bed for 20 years, as Sam Flannel said, chewing his tobacco. And whoever had to be a pawn in his game was a pawn in his game, and he didn't care because Charlie's out there slinging newspapers in the street for a nickel, making money, and all he wants is a chocolate. He wants to use 3 cents to go buy a chocolate bar, and he doesn't because he feels he owes it to Grandpa Joe and come home and shake his pockets out for the family. And that's what he does every time he goes hungry. Charlie did. He's out there in the streets working for Grandpa Joe. Jackson Mahomes, in the meantime, he's just an idiot. And he thinks people want that. And that's not Jackson Mahomes' fault. But it is Grandpa Joe's fault that Grandpa Joe is the way that he is.
I thought you were going to say it was Patrick Mahomes' fault. It's not Jackson Mahomes' fault. It's Patrick Mahomes. Absolutely not. Okay, Neal. Awesome. Have fun.
That's fair.
Okay. That is where I wanted to go. And then Shane Sandrock says, then he takes the chocolate bar, Neal, and throws it on the damn floor.
Yeah.
Joe Spreadmore. Grandpa Joe is a grifter.
He gets upset when Charlie buys himself a candy bar.
Yeah, I know.
What a piece of shit. Like, you have the gall to tell this young
Cody
man
Engel says
he
Grandpa
can
Joe
spend
got
his
Charlie
money
to
on.
have work ethic. Mahomes is a leech.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, he did,
Well, who's a bigger leech than Grandpa Joe?
Yeah, Grandpa Joe's also a leech.
That taught work ethic.
Yeah.
Grandpa Joe was in peak physical condition after being bedridden for 20 years. He got right up. He starts dancing around.
He was like Data Davis. He was Grandpa Data Davis. He gets up out of the bed, puts some jorts on, and he's walking into the arena.
In the
He's gonna
revamped
get
version, he
30-20
pops
next
out of
game.
bed with jorts. That's funny.
Yeah.
It is. How he fucking rubs it in the faces of all the other grand. He gets up. He's like, "Oh, I can move
He's
now."
doing the swinging elbow dance.
What a terrible person. What a terrible person.
You see, am I convincing some people here?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I would also want to hang out with Grandpa Joe just so I can berate him. So I can just verbally assault him.
Go in.
Yeah. That would be
God.
And yeah.
Oh my God.
Lucchini AP. He let a kid drown in chocolate. He did. Just stood there and watched.
All that was missing was him dropping a cigarette on the floor as Augustus was stuck, struggling for air,
being sucked into a tube.
Of chocolate river.
Yeah.
Augustus, poor kid.
Poor kid.
Man, if Grandpa Joe was his lifeline, we all know what it would have meant.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
That's a guy you can't rely on.
No, you can't. Grit says, really, guys? Hey, don't be mad at me that Grandpa Joe was that way. It's not my fault.
Yeah,
all right?
True.
So that's all. Hey, I just wanted to break the news and let everybody know that we're all united because Jackson Mahomes got arrested. So everybody can feel better about it. Many people let the kid drown in chocolate, including the man whose company is liable for that. Jake, nobody stood there and looked in his eyes as he was stuck in the tube of Chocolate River.
Yeah.
Not knowing if he was going to make it through or not. Well, Wonka knew. At least Wonka knew that the pressure would shoot him out because it's his factory. Grandpa Joe thought he was going to die and loved it.
And just loved it. He's like, that's one off the board.
Yeah.
One more.
We're one closer.
Yeah.
We are one closer. Man. Okay.
It's fired up.
I do. It is. This is a great question. Cody Engel, who's to say Grandpa Joe didn't have a life insurance policy on Charlie? I'm sure it was cheap.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I gave him the fizzy lifting drink. He's hoping he went into those fans.
There's got to be an iceberg on Willy Wonka somewhere. We'll do a deep dive.
Yeah. Willy Wonka is different.
No, Uncle Joe.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Joe.
under the movie to his motivations and stuff.
No, like
nothing to the point that would anything surprise you that was uncovered about Grandpa Joe?
No,
absolutely
nothing.
Not.
The away fan, though, we talk about hardcore people in caps. They signed the contract. They knew all the risks.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was Survivor before Survivor.
And that's what it is for me. Like, saying Willy Wonka was worse for it because it was his factory, that's what he was doing.
Right,
he was bringing kids in there to eliminate them. Like that's what it was. He was bringing kids in there to eliminate them. Grandpa Joe was a civilian bystander who just let it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Made eye contact with the poor kid, man. So, So there is that. Cody also said we should rent out Imagine Theater for a Woodward Sports Willy Wonka viewing party.
Just hate watch Willy Wonka
and turn it into like a Rocky Horror Picture Show and throw popcorn to Uncle Joe every time he's on there.
Electric.
That would
just
be
the
electric.
booze that cascade every time Grandpa Joe's on there.
Just boo him.
That would be awesome.
I would love that.
You know what, low-key?
He's a terrible person. One of the worst fictional characters of all time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3 thinks that Grandpa Joe is a bad person.
Nothing will stand out more than he was bedridden for 20 years. The rest of the grandparents are still bedridden, and he just pops up after the golden ticket. Look at me now. I can move again. Like, you piece of shit.
The only thing missing was the cane and the straw hat.
Yeah. He's tap dancing on the bodies of his in-laws. Like,
we should do that, dude. We should do that.
Hey, Rake just checked in he's on his honeymoon somewhere.
Perfect.
Down north. But I was gonna say, what the hell, isn't it? Maybe it's raining down there or something.
Yeah.
But nice checking in. Congrats to you, Maddie. Have fun. Make sure, remember, he's soft. Those sissy cigars, I want the men. The men. The man cigars.
I'm more team mild than.
Spenny, you a man guy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we know what flannel is.
Oh, dude, you taste those things for 3 days. That's the kind you like? The kind that you taste for 3 days?
Oh, yeah.
I'm team mild all the way. Shane Sandrock, Grandpa Joe. Grandpa Joe all of a sudden remembered he was a goddamn breakdancer in his past life.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it is. What about this? Somebody asked the question. Mike G, Grandpa Joe is Al Avila and Bob Quinn combined.
Ooh.
He's worse.
He's worse.
He's absolutely worse.
And Matt Millen?
Still, he's worse than those three.
Wow.
Grandpa Joe. Al Avila is the Grandpa Joe of baseball GMs, though.
Oh, for sure.
He is. We'll have to think about that one. No, we're going to break down this Matt Stafford trade when we come back. Let me talk about the sports marketing agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse as well. They have a new podcast out called This is the S Word. Helps fight the stigma associated with seeking help for mental issues that arise in your life. If you're struggling or if you know someone that's struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com, the sports marketing agency. They're here to help.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, Grandpa Joe back here with you. Coming up on hour number 2, subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast. Please leave a 5-star review. Review it, rate it, do all of that. It helps with the algorithms and everything like that. It'll help it get in front of more people. So we certainly would appreciate if you could do that. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Woodward Sports YouTube page if you have not already. And by the way, tap into woodwardsports.com. Still got editorials up there and everything like that as well. Lots of Grandpa Joe hate, as you might imagine, and it's always going to be like that. Well, I think I would rather do the Rent the Theater and group hate watch Willy Wonka than even the 999 challenge. I think I would rather do the movie idea.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would too.
Yeah, it's a lot less pressure.
Given the fallout. But we are going to do it. We are going to make that one. We are going to make that one happen. Doughboy Steve, Grandpa Joe, and the Ann Arbor Art Show. I assume those are the two things he hates the most. That's aggressive.
Somebody said there's a T-shirt out there that Grandpa Joe is the OG freeloader.
100% he is. 100% he is. The Matt Stafford trade has gone official, right? Do we have a graphic element on this?
We do.
Okay, and I do, because I want to take a look at this. We haven't had a chance to do this. Now with the draft having come and gone, let's get it out there. What the official return for Matt Stafford in the Matt Stafford trade goes down in the books as the Lions got Jared Goff, Pro Bowl quarterback last year, Melifonwu, Jameson Williams, Josh Paschal, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Broderick Martin, all in return for Matthew Stafford. And there's a couple of different avenues. And D-Mac, first off, let me address the one that I saw the most chatter about, just on the different social media channels. For me, the return is a good return. Number one, because I would contend the quarterbacks have just about they're in the same ballpark as each other, right? As far as performance that they've had with their new teams, just about the same. The Super Bowl thing is different, and it doesn't count. I'm not concerned with the Rams winning a Super Bowl. That doesn't play into it for me. It doesn't, because that's not apples to apples. Where the Rams were with their roster, how they were set to go. So for me, I like the return that they got. You paid less money to a quarterback, got about the same performance, and as you go into the future here, are you counting on Matt Stafford to ever return to the level that he was before? I'm not. Where are you at with the Matt Stafford return?
I see that, and I look at it totally different. Because I look at it like it can end up being a win. Right now, it's looking to be a win-win for both franchises.
I don't care what the Rams got. I don't care.
No, that's your good. Go ahead how you judge it. I don't see it that way. Yeah, I look at this and I look differently and look at that. Okay, if you're saying, am I looking at what the return I got for one guy? Like I'm saying the Rams, they did business. They got everything they wanted to the point they were at a different point that he was a finishing piece to get them over the end. They didn't care what it was, right? If I'm looking at it, is it a win? To me, it's a win-win for both. Do I like the return that I got for the one guy that spent his career here that was a first-rounder? Yeah, because I've seen other first-rounders, career Hall of Fame guys retire with no compensation to it. So right now, it's the greatest deal. Again, Brad Holmes showing a different level in a trade how he cooks. Now, the list again, if you look at it, the guys that were just drafted, the Gibbs, the Laporta, the Martins. So, now, time will tell, but what the expectations are is right now looking at it is it's a win-win. Why? To me, that's what I look for in transactions is how do they benefit each other. So if I'm keeping score, I like my return. I think it gets me to where I want to be. You said it yourself. Teams are in different points. We just got done talking the first segment about where Philadelphia was compared to us. No, along the way of the rebuild, we need all these pieces to make what we need. And congratulations. I'm glad it worked for the Rams. It just, for future worth. You're right. It doesn't matter if they won, they lost, they didn't do it. The return there, but it shows you for the one player. And to me, I look at it because he was our first rounder, because we had all our eggs in his basket for so many years, because, for whatever else, because we've lost guys in the past under regimes to just retire for nothing. So to me, that's why I look at fireworks, win.
Explosives.
Explosions. Big E says.
Yeah, not.
See, and here's.
That's what we do here in Detroit. We don't shut off little beep, 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 beep. In Arizona, here we drop bombs. This is Neal.
See, here's my problem with this line of thinking. I'm not saying you, D-Mac. I'm saying this line right here from Big E. One's won a Super Bowl, one hasn't made the playoffs. Well, you know what? The first year that one was with his team, the biggest free agent acquisitions he had was Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins for $19 million. With one caveat, they weren't on the team anymore. That's not justified. That's not a justifiable outcome to come to when you look at it and you analyze it. When you put that graphic up there on the screen, there is no doubt, especially given the forward trajectory of Matt Stafford, where he's going to be, there is no doubt that the Lions won that trade. I don't care that the Rams won a Super Bowl. That doesn't impact me. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't hinder me. That's the return right there. I'll roll with that. Because we saw Jared Goff have a Pro Bowl year last year. And as Robert Colosia says, Stafford was hurt all year last year, like he was the 4 years prior with us. That's what it is. It's not the Rams trade. It's Matt Stafford and the return the Lions got. And it was something that had to have been done. You can't look at it in a vacuum like that and say, well, Jared Goff didn't make the playoffs. No one's making the playoffs when Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers are taking up $20 million of your cap. Nobody is. That's what had to be done. And they did as well as you could do given the circumstances. And they got Jared Goff back. Who, look, you can say what you want. And Rax and Spenny, that's why I give you credit. You don't let emotion grip you. It is a factual statement. Jared Goff was a Pro Bowl level quarterback last year. You've said it.
Yes.
You want to see it again? I got no problem with that. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
100%. But that's what it was.
Show us.
He showed us. Like, that's what I can't live in that. What happened for the Rams? What did the Rams do? I don't care. That graphic tells me that that's a good return. I don't care what happened to the Rams.
Filling the needs. And if you look at the graphic, I mean, really, I don't think it's indetermined yet. Isn't it? Because we got to see these guys play. Mm-hmm. Now, the stats look good. The names look good. Stuff like this. But we got expectations. I want to see Josh Pascal healthy. And then you got to see all these young guys. But with what Jared Goff did and what he provided to your team, right? And it was rocky at different points. But the way that it battled through and the fact that, Holmes that's his guy. So that's where we're at. Are you happy with it? I think it's that. The story's not over, right? This is just another chapter. Ends another chapter that the names have been filled in. We got to wait and see, but I'm happy with the return and everything works out. What happens if, from now on, everything, nobody plays out? None of these guys.
How's it trending for the Rams? And look, somebody talks about that too.
But they still have to see. That's where I disagree with you, because in this, they got what they needed. But it's why can't it be a win-win? Why's it got to be, I won this and you won that, and it's a power struggle instead of they got what they needed, we got what we needed, and hopefully it's what we need to move forward.
I'm going to take a page out of D-Mac's book right here, because I'm a Lions fan, and all I give a shit about is what we got. All right. And I like what we
Lions
got.
There it is. That's all that matters. But the book's not done. The chapter's over. I don't think the book's closed just because you got the names there. Still got to play out.
And Spenny, I know, because I brought this up to you, and I think you and I vibe on this point a little bit, and it gets glossed over because I never hear anybody ever talk about it except for me and you. That Rams-Niners conference championship game. Mm-hmm. About 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I forget the defensive back for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Pass hits him in the chest. He drops it.
Yeah, right in the chest.
He catches it.
And game over. Rams
game
don't get
over.
to the Super Bowl.
Like, that's how fine the line is. And that, you know what? That was fortunate.
Yeah.
That was a fortunate. But you have to be fortunate to win a Super Bowl.
That happens to everybody.
Yeah, as I've always said, like, everyone thinks like it's this line of domination, and you just go out there and win the championship, and you're never challenged or anything like that. Like, even D-Mac was a part of the greatest hockey teams of all time. They have moments of trials and tribulation in every single playoff run, even when they had 1,300 Hall of Famers on the team and one mid-player, as Sam Flannel would say. Even when they had that as a roster, it didn't. There were always moments of trepidation. The UNLV, that team that beat Duke by 30, almost lost to Ball State.
Yeah.
They were lucky to win.
That's what happens.
That is exactly
Everybody
what happens.
has to get lucky at some point in a playoff run. Or there's always one of those moments where it's like, oh, this could end. Oh, no. Like, look at the Chiefs last year, like that holding call. That changed the game. The Eagles would have had the ball driving with, 2 minutes left if it wasn't for that holding call. A chance to win the game. Instead, they had the ball driving with 40 seconds left.
Chris in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jared Goff was 26 when he was traded to the Lions, only a year older than Mr. Hooker right now. With what's been put around him, it's been an impressive progression from 3 to 9 wins. And that's true. Even the biggest hater has to say that. They absolutely do. But for me, yes, the Lions won the trade because they got what they needed. And they're on the way. And those pieces. There will be, now look, in that graphic, there'll be 2 guys that flop.
Iffy. More than likely Iffy.
Yeah. The math says there'll be 2 guys that flop, and there'll be 2 guys that'll be good. What happens with the middle guys? That's like life, right?
Well, you want one. You got to have greatness. And here's the one thing: when you look at the specific player, you were done with this player. You sort of tapped out to whatever it was. That's why I say it was a win-win to be able to get rid of them and replenish it and be happy when the names are where the draft picks were going to be. Instead of now, it's not just the second-round pick and this other first-round pick and number pick 18. These are the faces, the names, and the guys that you have. Now you can determine. But I think that the big thing, Neal, is are you happy with your return sitting here right now as we close and see the next chapter of them actually playing and showing, hey, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you know what they have going for them, though? Brad Holmes drafted them. So you know what? Your bust theory might only be one. Because of the Holmes effect, right?
Sure, no, absolutely.
Instead of the odds, and that's what we have. Because what does he prove? That each draft class makes it on the field.
And this is fair too. Brandon Katz says the Lions draft this year will determine whether or not they won the Stafford trade, and that is fair.
Yeah, that's
fair.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's wait and see.
Just like I don't have to wait and see.
But you got to be happy. But that's all you want. You want to say like I don't care what anybody else does. You want to take the DMAC page or whatever. Is that? Are you happy? Yeah. Happy. Moving forward.
Just like when I get my haircut at Lady Jane's. I'm happy.
Absolutely, because if you walk, and you'll be even happier now, or any one of you will be happier now, because if you walk in any Lady Jane's from award-winning haircut experience, you automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, best bud, or Spenny. He'll take 1 too.
I'll definitely take 1.
Anyways, Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in any time. It's wicked awesome.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you, and chopping it up. And we were just talking about this because the Stafford trade's become official now. It is in the books, as everybody likes to say. And I think the Lions did a very, very good job with it. And I like the return that they got. I don't care what happened to the Rams. Just doesn't matter to me. All I care about is the Lions because that's who I root for. I'm taking a page out of D-Mac's book right there. And it feels good, D-Mac. I got to admit.
There it is.
I got to admit, man. It feels good. I like it. No wonder you get all hyped up about it, man.
Worried about everybody else.
You know what we never did post-draft? Never got into the nickel packages, man. That's how much the draft just consumed everything. Where we didn't have time to do post-draft nickel packages and figure out everything that went on. We touched on who won the draft and stuff like that. Let's get into the nickel package.
Are you telling me we got the capacity to do that?
We do. We got the bandwidth. Let's do it.
We have the bandwidth. We have the technology. We can build it, and we can make it stronger. First question of the nickel package. Which team improved the most in the NFL draft?
Do you want the capacity to improve or like hard currency?
Hard currency. Right now.
You guys are going to laugh at this. Arizona Cardinals did some damage.
They got some good picks.
They did some damage. I'm telling you what, man. If Kyler Murray... Now, the coach is going to kill it. I can already see that. This guy... I've seen enough in that one clip to know this guy isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But that being said, on paper, hard currency, I love what the Cardinals did because they did what I love. Number one, go back, trade back. Number two, still get your guy. Yep. Number three, be compensated to get your guy that you liked. And look, you're married to Kyler Murray right now.
Isn't that the first time, really, like on the whole scheme, Arizona showed some competency in their front office in a long time?
Yeah, but they still hired that coach.
No, but that's what I mean. No, that's what I'm saying. But this showed the way that they operated their draft showed competency. I'm going to stick to the top. Philadelphia. I mean, for what they needed and what they did to really, it's like
the bandwidth.
To me, it's like Transformers, dude. They just added another weapon to Optimus Prime in the North, and got what they needed because everything around it was. And I said earlier, like from the misstep that they made, if they, contend it's a misstep that we were rewarded for in their backfield by we got C.J. Gardner-Johnson because they couldn't figure out what to do there. They regrouped and they showed why they're at the top, and it's why everybody else is chasing them in the NFC.
Boy, in 2026, Kyler Murray is a $56 million cap hit, man. They are married to this guy. I
wonder if anybody looks up his player profile for Call of Duty and says how many kills per, what's he get paid per kill? Is he the ultimate mercenary online?
Could be. Very well could be.
Might be onto something.
Here's one real quick for you, though. And here's another thing that I do like, Spenmo, and this is a page out of your book. Your boy Clayton Tune.
Yeah.
They're taking a spin, and I think that was a controlled, long shot gamble that they did with that draft pick to say, hey, we'll get this guy on board. There is an out that's manageable going into 2025 where he's a $33 million dead cap hit, but if Clayton Tune hits, now he's a lottery ticket. I wouldn't bet, I'm not going to bet my job on it. Mm-hmm. But if he even shows any semblance of being a hit, you can stomach it because he's a late round quarterback.
Oh, for sure.
And that will be in year 4 of his deal. So I'm just saying.
Lions should trade Jared Goff for Clayton Tune, straight up.
Second down.
Second question of the nickel package. Who will end up being the steal of this year's draft? I'm talking for everybody, any pick that any team made.
Given the nature, and this is what's funny to me about it, D-Mac, there were 15 tight ends taken in this draft, but none of them went in the first round. Dalton Kincaid went in the first round, right? Kincaid went in the first round.
Later.
I'll tell you what, man. Mayer could be in today's day and age, with the way the tight end's in there and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Kincaid, with the way Buffalo could use the tight end in terms of distributing, getting him the football and stuff like that. I'll narrow it down. I'll say one of these tight ends could end up being the steal. Mayer in particular, though, because everyone liked him so much, and I don't have access to everybody's draft board, but a tight end could end up being the steal, D-Mac. Just given the life, and it's a rationalized, stab in the dark.
See, I'm along with your thought process on the offense, but I believe it's going to be one of these wide receivers, and it's either Olave, being picked down, but I think it might be Quentin Johnson. It might be the Justin Herbert.
See, I'm big on that with Jordan Addison too.
Right, like it's that connection, and I look at with like Keenan Allen and in and out and stuff like that. But with the big body at the goal line, I mean, we saw what he did, against Michigan and stuff like this, and. I'm a bigger fan of his, and I think the way that Herbert throws the ball, that sort of feeds him, right? Like aggressively. Does that make sense? So
no, it does.
I'm gonna say Quentin Johnson.
And I'll give you an honorable mention again to the Cardinals, to Paris Johnson, because if he's the franchise tackle.
If they got their
Penei Sewell, he can, and I think it's safe to say Penei Sewell. No one talks about him here. I don't think they do to the degree of Hutchinson and things like that.
He's fallen into the Nick Lidstrom.
He's taken on that role.
See, we'll around here is like it's sort of everybody but you forget, but everybody sort of overlooks and stuff like that. That's to the greatness, and only certain guys can elevate. You can't be mid and go there.
Yeah, and like, because you guys know me, my take on it. I think Sewell kind of changed the attitude of this franchise. Like, it's when you get up in the face of the Nick Bosas, you know what I'm saying, and you're up there and saying, hey, not with me. Things might have been the way they were before, but this ain't flying with me.
Absolutely.
And getting up in those people's faces, that's showing that you're being about it. So if he can do it, if Paris Johnson can do it, he'd be an honorable mention. And they got compensated to do it.
And they got compensated to do it.
And they could have 1 and 2 next year in the draft.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Houston's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, that was. But I mean, theoretically.
Theoretically they could.
Yep.
All right, third question of the nickel package: over under 350 yards and 4 touchdowns from Sam Laporta this year. Hockenson had, I believe, 358 his rookie season.
Ah, man. Because how are the goal line packages going to because they still have, all those dudes that were churning out a touchdown every week, the second that Hockenson left, all those dudes are still there. So, I mean, I don't know how that goal line package is going to work with Laporta. Is Laporta going to be like a 20-20, 20-yard line to 20-yard line guy?
I can see. I feel like they'll use Brock Wright in the goal line.
And Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's how I see that shaking out too. What kind of blocker is Laporta? Because
he's a good blocker.
Yeah, I mean, is he as good as those guys though? We're gonna find.
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
We're gonna see.
So, I think over on the yards for sure. But the touchdowns, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where you getting them. Add up your touchdowns. You got Gibbs in the backfield, Montgomery. Short yardage stuff like this. All the receivers. I know we're tight end heavy, but you got Mitchell. Zylstra. You got the tight end. So we know that they're used. I think you're more on it over in the yards, but probably 2 touchdowns, maybe 3. But we'll see. I mean, the head coach is tight end.
That's a good point.
No, it is. I wonder that too. Like, how are they going to use him? Is he going to be deployed as a toy or a tight end? Because there's a line. Mm-hmm. There's a fine line between the two. So I'm curious to see what happens with it.
All right, fourth question of the nickel package. Who will be the Malcolm Rodriguez of this year's draft for the Lions? Means who's that late round guy that's gonna turn into something?
You talk about like across the board?
For the Lions.
Oh, for the Lions.
Yeah.
I'll give you Malcolm Rodriguez. That's tough, man. Malcolm Rodriguez was a 100 tackle guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't know that they got one.
Ooh.
To that level.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like to a measurable level. And again, your success, D-Mac, in professional sports, and I don't care the sport, NHL, NBA maybe more than most, football certainly more than most, what kind of usage are you getting? They brought Malcolm in the 6th round and said, you're our dude, and you're going to start. And he started, and he was out there all the time. So by the nature of the beast, he's going to rack up tackles, right? I think if you're looking at it in a granular fashion like that, like you expect someone to come out there and have 100 tackles.
How about not stats, but impact? Malcolm Rodriguez impact. And to me, and obviously, great job by Brad Holmes when you're late rounders or early round picks or whatever. But the 4th guy they selected is Brian Branch. And I think that the fact that what he can bring, and Sam was talking about him earlier, but the biggest stat that really jumped out at me was how many missed tackles he had in college, and I think it was 3 total. With a guy that's making 100 and some tackles a year and stuff like that, what I mean is he's a sure tackler. What do we need on this team? A sure tackler. Now, reps, I don't know how he's going to be used and for whatever else, but I know that the holes that we need to plug in the running game, where you always say, can we not allow a team to run for 300 yards and a half, right? So I think that impactful-wise, maybe not 100 tackles, but plug in a hole, plug in a spot, moving in, being versatile. I think it's Brian Branch. I'm real excited to see this kid play. He's got that motor.
Since you brought it that way, too, you talk about impact, like with Broderick Martin. The thing that intrigues me about that was Brad Holmes was aggressive going to get this guy. Aggressive.
So, yeah.
Gave up 3 picks.
Gave up 3 picks, man.
Yeah.
He went hard in the paint for this guy. Like, he is.
But don't you? So let's stay right here, right there, right? Defensive tackle, guy in the middle, big body. Big body Boogs is what Terry wants to say.
Yeah.
So the fact that right there, Brad Holmes moving 3 picks and getting that guy in the 3rd round, telling you that's our guy, that's our guy. I want this guy in the middle, whatever.
That's the guy I'm going to watch the most.
Does that ease the blow to whatever you're feeling because he didn't take Jalen Carter or Cansey or Tyree Wilson, that he passed on these guys?
I'll let you know Thanksgiving next season.
Right, but what I'm saying is before anything on the field, that's what I want to see. That tells me that it's his guy. Again, let's see if their game plan is going to work. But they're all in, and that's their guy, and that's more important to me than anything else.
Steve Salinas, real quick, says Ibrahim will prove to be a stud for the Lions, and I wanted to protect against this. Like, give me the path. The 1st-round draft pick running back, the big free agent acquisition that you said. Where's the playing time? Craig Reynolds, the guy that they like because they're keeping him around.
Come on, Craig.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's like our snap reaction because we've seen Ibrahim play before, but give me the path. That's my question for it. All right, 5th down.
All right, 5th down, 5th question of the nickel package. All right, who makes a bigger impact year 1? Jahmyr Gibbs or Jack Campbell?
Who better it be?
Who better it be? Who do you think it's going to be?
Better be Campbell. Like, because they're making it clear. Like, he's out there. He's starting. Mm-hmm. Like, he is an NFL linebacker in the fire. Now you go. You go. And again, going back to my point, D-Mac, I want to not give up 300 yards rushing against a team in a half of football. My goal is to have every team punt in a game, at least once when they play us this year. Like, those are my 2 goals. I don't want to give up 300 yards rushing in a half. I want every team we play to punt at least once.
Well, that's
pretty
but here's the whole thing. I think if you sit here, like, pretty much 8, if at a scale of 1 to 10, you're at an 8 or 9, and knowing what Jahmyr Gibbs is going to bring to you, to that offense, right? It's, the open space, out of the backfield, catch and run and making guys miss. Jack Campbell, you're not sure, right? But he's getting the keys, right? So you're more. That's what it is.
And I'm cool with it.
That's absolutely.
I'm absolutely
this is
cool
their
with
guy.
it.
Let's go and let's see it. So yes, to your point, Jack Campbell, because if it is him. And it can both be. Wouldn't that be the greatest argument? Is who's better? No, he is. No, he is. Look at his stats.
Yeah.
Look at his stats. Because it's not the Torque and Green conversation. It's the opposite.
It's the opposite of that. Andrew Jones, real quick, says it better be Gibbs to justify 12. And Andrew, here's my take on that. I give more slack to Gibbs at 12 because they were compensated to do it. That's big to me, man. That's big to me. He got paid to make that pick. He got compensated to make that pick. The Campbell thing was all on an island.
But you both are arguing the same thing. He's saying that at 12. You're saying that at 18.
Yeah, but the 12, No,
I get it.
Yeah,
that's to your argument. But he's saying that Gibbs because of where he's picked. You're saying Campbell because where he was picked. And this is why it's not
uncompensated pick to a compensated pick.
Yes.
So that is it. Hey, Citron's the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, the exclusive offer still going on for Woodward sports fans. The limited edition Red Wings 6-pack sampler, $15. Free shipping, boom, to your house. You get to try them all. The great tasting Cranberry, classic, and sugar-free. If you guys are like the one of 4 that's left out there that hasn't tried Citron yet. And look, they proudly serve it at Little Caesars Arena. They serve it at Keyworth Stadium. You go to Detroit City FC this Saturday, you can have one there. D-Mac had one last Tuesday, as a matter of fact. Tweeted a picture out. He was smashing the Citron. He's on it. He has it when he goes to the Little Caesars Arena every single time. My son is about the Citron life as well. And you know what? I'm cool with it, too. I don't want like a bunch of junk in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. Citron, they check all those boxes. And, of course, it tastes great. One more time, go to drinkcitron.com/Woodward. Get it, $15, sampler box to your house, free shipping. It's Citron, Darren McCarty.
Drink it, live it, love it with Citron.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. Feeling tired, depressed, unmotivated. Perhaps you have low sex drive. You got some muscle loss or belly fat piling up.
You're not bricked up.
You're not bricked up anymore? Hey, we can fix that. Testosterone optimization therapy. It's a safe and effective way to restore your vitality, i.e. get back bricked up, your confidence, your performance, and reduce your risk for heart disease as well. Go to CustomHealthCenters.com today. That's CustomHealthCenters.com. Give them a call. 877-965-0910. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. And, we're just chopping it up. Subscribe to the podcast page, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, Big D Energy podcast out there. And subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Tens of thousands of you have done it already. The most subscribed to YouTube channel in Detroit sports media. Let's just say it like that in terms of daily talkers. And it's not even close. I do want to touch on this, by the way. The Hendon Hooker thing, real quick. Since we have Spencer Raxter, Woodward Heavyweights 5 to 7.
Check it out.
Check it out. Tap in. I heard Easy was taking some shots, huh?
Yeah.
Bring me up to speed, Spencer.
Yeah, so I told him your take of Jake Moody over Hendon Hooker.
Yes.
That I don't agree with personally, but...
So you don't agree that Jake Moody would help the Lions more than Hendon Hooker would this year?
No, I don't agree that I'd rather have Jake Moody than Hendon Hooker where they were picked.
Okay, so you don't agree that when it's all said and done, Jake Moody will have a better NFL resume than Hendon Hooker?
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree that when it's all said and done, Jake Moody would have a better Lions resume than Hendon Hooker will? You'll consider it.
I consider that.
Okay.
I can see that.
See, that's all I care. I'm getting back on the DMAC. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
What are you doing for me in the Detroit Lions?
I just think the upside of a Hendon Hooker is higher, but I told him, like you said, that you think that Hendon Hooker will more than likely not play in his time in Detroit.
Yes.
So that's why you didn't like the pick, and that's why you would rather have a guy who'd make an impact. Like,
Neal, do you know how you break it? Before we went to break and you're talking about, because you're the draft capital salary cap guy, so the fact where Gibbs at 12, because you got compensated for it, plays into consideration. To a lot of us that are, to me, I'm going to speak for myself, to me, the fact that they took Hendon Hooker also had to do with Michael Honey, the money badger, Bagley, or the kicker that they had. So, in Brad Holmes' eyes, it told me that Jake Moody isn't Justin Tucker, right? What they have at kicker, and to him, getting the quarterback there that maybe in their mind gives them that security that they needed or something with the talent. That's all it tells me. I think that, like you with draft capital and salary cap, the person that was already there, right? So it'd be different if there was no kicker there or we were in the abyss. They've planted their flag with their kicker for right now.
Right. And so, but my problem was, like, when Easy, because I saw on Instagram, follow Woodward Sports on Instagram.
Just put a period. Your problem there is easy. Mine too. Just put a period. But
no, and he had a comment to the effect of, I never want to hear Neal talk about positional value again. And Easy, see, you're falling into that fantasy football thing It's not an absolute. Hendon Hooker is A, going to play, or B, play well. As a matter of fact, if you get granular on it, it's a long shot.
Can we just backtrack Cole's notes real quick about this is the argument about salary? The same guy that you have the argument with.
Yes.
It's almost like Easy's the flat earther dude, or whatever you don't believe in, right? Because remember, he's also the person that argues that because you only paid $9 million this year for a quarterback, that he's more valuable than the contract, right? You guys argue about this all the time, which doesn't make sense, right? To your point, right? You're looking at it as, would you say, more linear or more factual about production?
I do. I'm consistent with the way I think.
Right.
Like this is very easy to me, and it goes back to the point I just made to Spenmo.
No pun intended.
I think when both of their playing days are over, that Jake Moody will have a better NFL resume than Hendon Hooker, i.e. be more valuable to a franchise, have more production, all of it, have a longer career, all of it, be more impactful, all of it, and especially with the Detroit Lions. Like, this Hendon Hooker pick was made, I don't anticipate him ever playing.
Yeah, but isn't this Hendon Hooker, okay, maybe to the exception, but isn't this Hendon Hooker pick more to the Aaron Rodgers backing up Brett Favre pick, simulating, guys sitting on the bench?
No, because he's only 3 years younger than Goff.
I get it, but I think there's more talent than tread on the tire if he's healthy. So, it's just more thinking that they're going to think of sitting him. But I also heard a conversation between you and Sam Flannel about you believe that Hendon Hooker is a player and his career won't be with the Lions, right? Until he gets out from underneath, like you said. If it's Goff's contract or has to move on somewhere else, that's when you'll see but by that time, how old is he, right?
Right, exactly. So, Dom Rivera says, Easy was questioning Neal on being the salary cap guy because Neal would give Goff $50 million. And
did you ever say that?
No, I never said that, number one. Number one, I never said that. However, it will get in that neighborhood. And again, I'll go to it again. One more time, everybody. Aaron Rodgers is going to make 59 and some change this year. It's Jared Goff between 45 and 50. You see what I'm saying? Like that 25% discount to market. Russell Wilson, etc. I'm not asking for him to be the highest paid quarterback in football. I want him around where he is now, around the 10th highest paid quarterback. Like, that's it. I'm not saying go max him out and give him Lamar Jackson or, a 10-year deal, all guaranteed or anything like that. You want to shorten the term? You know how this works, D-Mag? You don't. You're not the guy to ask. Every time I always catch myself doing that. You're not the guy to ask. If your agent were sitting here, that would be the guy I would ask. You have these discussions. You want to juice up the guarantee, then we shorten the term. You want to lessen the guarantee, we juice up. The truth's in the middle somewhere. I have an idealistic philosophy of where I think Jared Goff is. 8-ish, 7-ish, 9-ish. In that realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a little bit of juice to play with there because it's going to help you address the team. So that's where I am with it. I want to keep him about where he is right now. I'm happy with the production. That's where I am with that. And again, going back to it, I just don't think, and here's the football reasons. In WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Harrington said Easy thinks that this is Madden. That's always been my thing about Easy. You cannot unequivocally look me in the eye and say, which is different than your fantasy draft when you take Aaron Rodgers in the 8th round. It's different here. You cannot, whereas in your fantasy draft, you can say Aaron Rodgers will be somewhere around 3,000 yards and somewhere around 30 touchdowns. You can't make that assessment with Hendon Hooker because you don't know. And if you want to, go ahead.
You can't make that assessment with any draft pick. You can't guarantee that they're going to be great.
100%. I don't disagree with that. However, when you're playing in the little happy action fun time Josh Heupel offense with the but for real, Spenmo,
it's a little gimmicky of an offense.
Yeah, with the wide hash marks and the receivers out in space and their wide receivers like Jalen Hyatt's and look at all the receivers that have gotten drafted out of Tennessee system. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of them. When they're matched up with a chemistry major, you know what I'm saying? That's there to be a student athlete that's on scholarship. What do you think's gonna? And they're in wide open space that doesn't exist in the NFL. No one's running those kind of offensive schemes in the NFL because you can't. Because the defenders are too quick. Because there's so many Jack Campbells out there. That's what I was told. So, that's where it is for me. Like football reasons. Those are football reasons. Yeah. It's gimmicky for me. It's the Timmy Chang thing at Hawaii and those kinds of guys that we see all the time come through the NFL and never have an impact. And I'm not saying he'll never have an impact. I'm saying Brad Holmes with a third-round draft pick, and yes, he used it on Hendon Hooker. I'll defer to him. I just don't see the path. Like someone was talking about Ibrahim before. Give me the path. None of the paths are good.
Yeah. I got a question. Hendon Hooker's arm stronger than Goff's?
Yes.
Like for the long ball. I'm just talking Hail Mary or downfield or
accuracy, especially on short passes, has come into question with him.
Goff doesn't possess.
I don't know.
Because all these questions that you're saying, Neal, about, yes, whatever, where he came from is true, but it's also, too, there's a guy named Ben Johnson and Mark Brunell also in that had a big deal in drafting this guy. So there's no, I'm thinking Ben Johnson, the conversation, and Allen Park is, wow, if we had him, we could scheme him in this play, in this play, in this play. And I'm just wondering that. They know what they're dealing with. They know where it came from. If you're telling me this about where they came from, what
I know they know.
So it intrigues me more of what do they have in mind? And that just came to my mind. Does he have like a deep, somebody said he threw 58 yards downfield in the game or whatever, but is he with Jameson Williams coming back with this, speed of different guys? Like, is this an asset?
Well, hopefully we never find out.
Well, or we do with a gimmick play, put him in and then the release. Why not like other teams do? Maybe they looking at him to use him more like a Taysom Hill. We don't know. Maybe he's more a part of it than we think. I don't know.
And by the way, too,
just throwing it out there, just another, not two quarterbacks, but just different plays that you put him in that he can handle. I'm just offering devil's advocate because when you put him under center for certain plays, you got to expect his mobile ability, don't you?
And by the way, too, for easy about positional value, Jake Moody would cost you about 25% less than Michael Badgley does, being a third-round pick. Michael Badgley's over $1 million a year.
Right. So Brad Holmes weighed his options and said, "Here's right here. We need this more."
I'm just giving you my thought-out case. All I hear is, well, he'll be good. That's all I ever hear in response. Hendon Hooker will be good. That's all I hear. I give you reasons. That's the difference. Where were we at? Oh, yeah. One of my favorite commercials of the day.
Best time of the day. It's Cousins Maine Lobster time because Woodward Sports loves lobster. And what better way to get your fix than Cousins Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around the city of Detroit, you can find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, and lobster tacos to power through the day. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com to find their schedule or scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. Make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to give Guardian Alarm a call today. Here's the number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. 24/7 professional monitoring call. Anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. Here's the number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people. Yes, real people. Homo sapiens. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and real people, not AI, nothing like that. A real human being on the other end of the phone who's been proven to care about what you care about, they care about. Here's my point, right? Sam Flannel, the legend killer. They've been protecting that flannel for how many straight days, Flannel?
268.
260, yes, you heard me, 268 straight days of flannel protection, no matter what his business or personal. Guardian Alarm will be there for you, but I need you to give them a call today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out of the chat. People, anybody calling Anthony Davis Data Davis. Did you know that he's only missed one playoff game and Steph Curry has missed 12? Where the Warriors are 9-3 in those games?
Stay out of the playoff series. Jimmy Butler, I want the Knicks to win. Please stay out.
Stay out of the batter's box in a Detroit Tigers uniform, Javi Baez. Forever.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy. Oh, we sent you.
All right, back at it. Big D Energy.
Ever.
Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Spenmo, we're going to have to punt on the Michigan State transfer portal thing till tomorrow.
Oh, darn.
Sorry, man. I couldn't get to it.
Oh, man.
Couldn't fit it in.
Right. How's your plums? They coming back?
Yeah,
you ready by tomorrow? You ready to have that conversation?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
And I do. I want to have, because I want to give it its proper, because I think we got at least two segments on this. The Michigan State thing, and I know what's good, and I have to account for this, right? When I do the shows and do topics, I know when we discuss Michigan State transfer portal, I know where that segment's going to end, where that segment always ends, no matter who it is we're talking about. So I have to account for that. That'll end up being a segment of calming everybody down and pulling you guys off of each other when everybody starts pointing fingers at a couple of, in the grand scheme of things, programs that aren't threats to win a national title and stuff like that. Like that's where it comes to. That's not. You have to separate that. But then I do want to get in on the transfer portal at large. Maybe sprinkle in some of what Deion Sanders is doing. I want to hear the people's take on that.
People.
Yeah. How he's not letting players get their practice film, which I don't have a problem with.
I don't either. You're gone.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So we'll discuss all of that tomorrow. I'm salty. Neal, have you ever seen Hendon Hooker play? Big talk from a guy who doesn't watch film. Yeah, I'm salty. Show me the rope he threw downfield. Show it to me. Show me the elite velocity rope he threw downfield. I'm salty. See, you need to understand where I come from, okay? I watched every minute of Will Levis against Anthony Richardson. Took time out of my night to sit down and do it. On a rare Saturday night off, locked in, watched every play. I look like in Tom and Jerry when Tom was trying to stay awake and had clothespins to his eyes. I watched that. I'm salty. And any man that watched that game that you see on your screen and watch that box score should never be questions about how much college football do you watch. I'm salty. How much Hendon Hooker did you watch? Were you breaking down the stopwatch with release points and everything like that? No, you weren't.
Hey.
It's fair for me to question, especially the downfield velocity. That's fair.
Let me get his medication, please. PTSD, Neal. You have, and this just brought up a point. I mean, yesterday we established we're going to do the fruit tournament during the summertime. How about now we go back to your PTSD sports moments, because you definitely will not let that one go. That one go, wasting your time to whatever else, and you're gonna die on that hill. And I love it, but we got to get through it. But the people don't understand. That's the hill you're going to die on.
Right.
Right, because you
went through
it. You were there.
The amount of college. You guys know this. The amount of college football I watch is inordinate.
And you got caught, and you couldn't turn it off. It was such a train wreck that you got caught in watching the accident.
But the moral of the story too, and do watch a lot of Tennessee. Have friends that work at Tennessee, so I always end up watching a little bit of that, and tap some of those people as well to get their thoughts. They have the same. The weaknesses that you hear about, like in profiles and stuff like that, they don't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like those are legitimate questions that he will have to answer, and he'll have to answer them in the NFL, not from a wide hash with a wide receiver man up because he split out wide against a chemistry major from Vanderbilt or wherever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what about against Alabama when he dropped 5 touchdown passes against a defense that had Will Anderson and Brian Branch? Just playing devil's advocate.
No, absolutely the case. When did he directly attack those guys? How many of those yards were directly attacking those guys versus on the wing, out into that little happy action fun time stuff that Heupel does?
I mean, Eli Ricks was a pretty good corner too. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't all just against Vanderbilts and Little Sisters of the Poor. He had the best performance of the year against Alabama.
You don't get drafted you don't get drafted because you didn't do it ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How does it translate, though, when it's all Brian Branches on the defense?
We shall see.
We will see. As a matter of fact, we will. I did want to get into this. Tigers and the Mets. Doubleheader today, maybe, if the sun ever comes out again.
It's supposed to come out this afternoon.
Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander were asked about the Detroit Tigers, right, Spenmo?
Yeah.
Max Scherzer said that he would quote he was quoted as saying they're good. He was talking about the Braves. Max Scherzer said, "I'd rather face the Braves this week. They're good." Verlander said, quote, "It's less like coming home." And of course it's a lot less than coming home, because the block's in tatters now. You know what this is? This is where when people drive down the street of the house they lived in the 1940s in downtown, right, to a blighted neighborhood, and they walk through, and they're like, wow, you know, this was the house that we lived in. The old lady across the street used to cool the pie on the windowsill next door, you know, that lived over there. And then there was the Polish lady that lived down the street here. That's like what it used to be.
You know, that word was absolutely poetic justice. Blight.
It's blight now.
No, that's what that's what
this organization is.
It's there. You know what it was? It was, we've been talking about it, how this organization's pretty much got nuked, and this is the first time that residents that had been here before the bombing came back to inspect and go, wow, doesn't even resemble anything.
Right. And that's the takeaway that I got from Justin Verlander's words. So I want to know, like, because in Spenmo, you said it perfectly on the show sheet. You mentioned the fact that they brought it up and they took shots, because they did. They took shots at what this is. Shots. But it's not a shot. If it's true, then it ceases to be a shot, and it becomes an observation. They gave you the observation, and you said, are they wrong? And no, they're not wrong. And when we come back from the break, because I want to touch on it.
It was more a confirmation of what we already knew.
And I know, but it hurts, and you know it, right? Like, I'll tell you, I used to be 338 pounds. I knew I was 338 pounds, but if somebody said something about it, you're like, you know, you'd be like, oh man,
are we past that?
It kind of hurts to hear that.
I thought that was like last year, or the year before.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it hurts, but you move on. But
it's getting better.
But no one knows that it's true more than you do.
Yeah, but it's getting better.
And that's what would bother me about it. I'm like, damn, he's right.
Oh, see, I take the different tack that I've already, like, this is how bad it is and whatever like that. Now you come back, told you so. Told you it was this bad. You didn't believe me, did you? Yeah. No, that's what it is. You just sort of whatever that is.
Well, this is the perfect segue into telling you about Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. You can try the classic breakfast items like the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering Spencer Raxter-approved red velvet waffle. If you're not a breakfast person, try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. Dessert, that's the point of this. It's a Strawberry Fest. You can get the strawberry pie. D-Mac will get it.
Slammed it.
Or you can get the deep-fried vanilla Oreos as well. D-Mac will get that too. Yep. Yeah. Or you can also get the strawberry hot fudge cake as well. D-Mac will get all three. He'll do all three of it. And you can only do all three of them at Strawberry Fest at your local Big Boy. Get there today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Talking Detroit Tigers, the Mets in town. Max Scherzer will toe the slab, maybe, if we can ever play a baseball game here again in Detroit. You know, when it's not raining and 31 degrees or whatever it is outside. But just, you know, Max Scherzer said he'd rather be playing the Braves right now because the Braves are a good team. Justin Verlander said it's less like a homecoming because the neighborhood's blighted now. And everybody's moved out, and the houses are gone, and the organization's left in rubble because that's what they are. And look, that's not the point of this. You guys have heard that take from me a couple of times this year. But for me, it's just, it reopens it, right? And it gets you upset as to where you are. And then you go back to it all and say, well, you know, they didn't win the World Series and stuff like that. And then it comes back to, all it does, D-Mac, is remind me, when I watch Max Scherzer on the mound tonight, all I'll be thinking about is when he left, that was the day the music died for baseball in Detroit. That was the D-Day. That was the day that it was over. When he left, because the commitment to winning was over, and I don't want to hear about contract offers. Who puts out a release about a contract that somebody turns down? The Tigers do. Max Scherzer turns down 8 years, $140 million, which was a lowball, awful offer. You know how I know? Because the Washington Nationals stepped in and gave him 7 years at $210 million. And then what did they do? Won the World Series. Won the World Series with them. And what did he do?
Pitched the best baseball of his life.
And that's it. That's all.
I'll be thinking tonight is as maybe a couple home runs are going out of the office. Scherzer, that karma, he shouldn't have badmouthed and said he'd rather be playing the Braves. But other than that, no. I mean, and some people I'm sure are going down to see, you know, just one of the last few times you're going to get to see him pitch at Tiger Stadium or whatever like that. So, hey, whatever you're going down there, hopefully it turns out to be a nice night. Stops raining.
What would it take to get you to go to the game tonight, Spenmo?
$50.
You do it for $50?
Yeah.
You go sit out there for $50?
Yeah.
And you sit outside?
I'm cheap.
You are cheap.
Yeah. Doesn't take much to sway me.
My baseline being on, and that's on brand.
And free beer.
See now, I already gave you $50
and
you
a hot
win.
dog.
Yeah.
You got to say $50 in my bar tab.
Yeah.
So technically it's about $150.
And a hot dog.
And then it's worth your while.
Yeah. Facts.
Rich Cream of Wheat agrees. You are a cheap date. Steve Wild says you'd have to pay me $500. I would do it. The suite's a non-negotiable. It's got to be the suite with the sliding door closed. Of course.
Of course.
Has to be that.
So you can't be seen?
Well, you know, I don't know about all that. Just so it's warm.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we would need the premium open bar and we would need the food.
Yeah. See, I don't need the premium open bar. I just need a couple of bats and a hot dog. I'm good. I'm good.
And you're straight.
Yeah. I haven't had a ballpark Frank in a while. Those are solid dogs.
They are. The snap.
Oh, yeah.
The snap when you bite into them. You know what? I have a hot dog when I go to the game.
Oh, of course.
I get the designer one. I go up there and get the Chicago dog.
The Chicago dog.
Those things smash.
Seattle dogs are good. When I worked at Coney, we had...
What's a Seattle dog?
It's got cream cheese, some type of like peppercini,
coffee grounds,
like a peppercini on it, and celery salt.
Ooh, peppercini.
Yeah, they're really good.
Tony D says Max Scherzer loves soap on a rope.
Grandpa Joe in the chat.
Grandpa Joe. Favorite players Claude than you.
People blaming Grandpa Joe for the weather. Yeah, man. Grandpa Joe is wearing it. Steve Wild says Neal is now a skinny Karen. I am not.
No. He just enjoys the finer things.
Yeah, right.
Me, I like to slum it.
Yeah.
I'll slum it.
But you know what? You and I have a happy medium. Though.
Yeah. That's fair.
We very easily could hang out together.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I sat in the owner's box at Keyworth.
Yeah.
Got free pizza. That was nice.
You've been there before.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. You got going anything tonight, D-Mac?
Dynamite. Golf league got canceled, so I got other stuff I got.
And even you said you wouldn't play tonight.
Yeah, would you play out there tonight?
No
chance.
Wind. I play the wet, like that when the 50 degrees.
I shot a 94 in the rain.
It just makes it feel like 35.
Yeah.
No thanks. In May, October.
It's gonna be May.
End of season, I'd play.
Yeah, that's. There is no chance I would play golf.
I went to Boyne in October. It was awesome. we had great weather all week, thankfully, but like the trees and the views.
Dude,
from
up north golf in the fall slaps.
It is crazy.
It's a trip to the roulette wheel with the weather, though.
Yeah, we lucked out. It was like mid-50s all week. It was just perfect. We did Lynx Quarry, Crooked Tree, the Heather, and another one. I forget what the other one was.
Nicholas Duncan agrees with you. He likes the slaw dog as well.
Slaw dogs are good.
Well, I think the main thing that we established here today is Grandpa Joe can piss off.
Yep.
Today and every day going forward forever. Get into the woodwardsports.com chat room early tomorrow. Spemo has promised me Grandpa Joe on the thumbnail.
We got that. And Justin Ford, I played treetops for my friend's bachelor party last year. It's nice.
Right. So I think that will do it, everybody. So for DMAC, for Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.